Welcome to Elevate English. Elevate your English. Elevate your life. If you found this video informative, please like, share, and subscribe to the Elevate English channel. Let's start our story. The Song of the Sea. The small coastal town of Seabrook had always been a place where time seemed to slow down. The salty breeze carried the sound of crashing waves onto the rocky shore, and the gulls wheeled overhead in the bright blue sky. It was a town where everyone knew each other, and each day felt like a new chapter in an ongoing story. The lighthouse that stood at the edge of the town was the oldest structure in Seabrook, a beacon of light that guided ships safely to shore through the foggy nights. Ella Matthews had grown up in Seabrook. The town was her home, the ocean her constant companion, and the lighthouse a symbol of safety and hope. She had always felt a deep connection to the sea, its ebb and flow a reminder of life's rhythms. As a child, she spent countless hours walking along the beach, collecting seashells, and listening to the sounds of the ocean. She loved the way the sea could be both soothing and wild, calm one moment and furious the next. It was a reflection of her own heart, full of contradictions. Now at 26, Ella had returned to Seabrook after several years away. She had spent her time studying marine biology at a university far from the shore, driven by her passion for the ocean and her desire to protect its fragile ecosystems. But despite her love for her studies, Ella had never truly felt at home in the city. The constant hustle, the noise, the lack of connection to nature, it had left her feeling unmoored, as if she were floating in a vast, empty ocean. So, she had returned to Seabrook to reconnect with the land and the sea that had always been her anchor. She had found a small cottage by the beach, its windows facing the rolling surf. It was a place of peace, and Ella spent her days walking along the shore, studying marine life, and reading books about the sea. It was during one of these walks that she met Lucas Carter. Lucas had come to Seabrook to escape his own chaotic life. He was a musician, a songwriter who had spent years chasing success in the city, playing in dimly lit bars and struggling to get noticed. But the fame he had longed for had never come, and he had grown weary of the constant fight for recognition. So, he had left it all behind, seeking solace in the quiet of Seabrook. He rented a small cabin on the outskirts of town, hoping to find some clarity in the silence. Lucas first saw Ella from a distance, walking along the beach, her long hair flowing in the wind, her footsteps leaving impressions in the sand. He was struck by her presence, the way she seemed at peace with the world, as if the ocean itself had whispered its secrets to her. He had always been drawn to the sea, too, but in a different way. For him, the ocean had always been a source of inspiration for his music, a metaphor for the emotions he poured into his songs. But Ella, she seemed to have an innate understanding of the sea, a connection that went deeper than words or music. One evening, Lucas decided to approach her. He had seen her on the beach for days, and something about her presence intrigued him. As he walked toward her, he noticed the way the light from the setting sun danced on her face, casting a soft glow that made her seem almost ethereal. "Beautiful evening, isn't it?" Lucas said as he drew near. Ella turned to face him, her eyes warm but guarded. "Yes, it is," she replied with a small smile. "I never get tired of the sound of the waves." "I understand," Lucas said, his voice quiet but filled with a certain earnestness. "I'm Lucas. I've just moved here." "Ella," she replied, offering him her hand. "I've lived here most of my life. Welcome to Seabrook." They stood there for a moment, watching the waves crash against the shore, the wind tugging at their clothes. Lucas couldn't help but feel a sense of peace in her presence, as though the tumult of the world had quieted for just a moment. "Are you a writer?" Ella asked, breaking the silence. Your voice sounds like you have a story to tell. Lucas chuckled softly, his eyes glinting with a mixture of humor and sadness. I'm a musician. A songwriter, actually. But I've been doing more listening than singing lately. Eller's interest peaked. What do you mean? I've spent so much time trying to make it in the city, trying to get noticed, Lucas said, his voice heavy with the weight of his experiences. But it never felt right. So, I came here to, well, figure things out. Find my own voice again. Ella nodded, understanding the need to find one's center. The sea has a way of doing that, she said. It helps you hear your own thoughts more clearly. I think I could learn a lot from the sea, Lucas said, his gaze drifting to the horizon. It seems like it knows what it wants, even when it's calm or when it's stormy. Ella smiled, her eyes reflecting the deep blue of the ocean. Yes. It teaches you patience, how to ride out the storms. For the next several days, Ella and Lucas met often by the sea. They talked about everything, the ocean, their lives, their dreams. Lucas shared stories of his struggles as a musician, and Ella spoke of her passion for marine life and her desire to protect the fragile ecosystems of the world's oceans. They found common ground in their love for the sea and in their desire to find meaning in their lives. As the days passed, their connection grew. Lucas began to write songs inspired by the ocean, capturing the raw emotion of the waves in his music. Ella helped him understand the rhythms of the sea, the patterns in the tides, and the way the waves seemed to have a language of their own. They spent hours together on the beach, watching the sunset, and discussing everything that had brought them to Seabrook. One evening, as they sat together on the rocks overlooking the ocean, Lucas pulled out his guitar. He had written a new song, one inspired by the days they had spent together. He strummed the first chords, his voice filling the air with the gentle cadence of his song. This one's for you, he said softly as he began to sing. Ella listened intently, her heart stirred by the emotion in his voice. The song was simple, yet powerful, and it seemed to capture everything she had been feeling since she met him, the sense of peace, of belonging, of coming home. When the song ended, Ella was silent for a moment, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. It's beautiful, as she whispered. Lucas smiled, his heart light. It's the sea that inspired me. But I think it's you, too. Ella felt a warmth spread through her chest, a feeling she hadn't experienced in a long time. You're a good songwriter, Lucas, as she said. But I think you're starting to find your voice. Lucas took a deep breath, his eyes searching hers. Ella, I don't know where this is going, but I feel something between us. Something real. Do you feel it too? Ella's heart skipped a beat. She had felt it from the first moment they met, the pull, the connection, the understanding. And now, sitting here on the rocks, with the ocean crashing around them, she realized that this was what she had been looking for all along, a love that felt as deep and infinite as the sea. I do, she said softly. I feel it, too. As the days turned into weeks, their bond only deepened. They spent more time together, walking along the shore, talking late into the night, and exploring the quiet beauty of Seabrook. Ella knew that she had found something special with Lucas, something she had longed for but never expected to find. One evening, as the sun set behind them, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange, Lucas turned to Ella. He took her hand in his and looked into her eyes. Ella, I don't know what the future holds, but I know I want you in it. I want to keep writing songs, and I want to keep walking by the sea with you. Will you be with me, through everything? Tears welled up in Ella's eyes as she squeezed his hand. Yes, Lucas. I want that, too. I want us to be like the sea, ever changing, but always together. And so, beneath the setting sun, with the ocean stretching out before them, they made a promise to each other. To love each other, to support each other, and to ride out the storms together, knowing that they had found something as enduring and beautiful as the sea itself. The end.